All right, guys, we're going to rock and roll on the show here. We're getting our channels up and running. Slowly, we'll be airing on 15 Facebook pages. Take a look at the screen for today's headlines. There's some news that has not made our rundown, which I will highlight at the top of the show, including the University of Virginia selecting Mark Weathers to be named the Chief Operating Officer of the Paul Manning Biotech Institute. Like and share the show. Like and share the show. Anywhere you're watching, like and share the show. A lot we're going to cover on the broadcast. Owen Brenner, thank you for watching the program. If you guys enjoy our content and appreciate the effort we put into covering local stories in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia, I kindly ask you to hit the like button on whatever platform you're watching upon, or tag a friend in the comment section and let them know that you are watching the show so we can help spread the gospel. Judah, unfortunately, neither you nor I won the mayor bet.
I know.
Juan Diego Wade is now the mayor of Charlottesville, Virginia for a second term. I was surprised by the selection. I'm going to unpack whether it was the right move or not, while caveating that I respect Juan Diego Wade tremendously, but as an elected official who has positioned himself in the spotlight as a two-term city councilor, I am able to offer analytical feedback that is not necessarily positive on his performance. And it's fair and within the boundary of commentary for us to hold political figures accountable, and I'm going to do that today. I want to talk Michael Payne nominating himself for city council, Judah Wickhauer, and when Michael Payne nominated himself for city council, nominating himself for mayor, not a single one of his peers voted on his behalf. And as a result, Michael Payne, in his second term, will not be able to embody the mayoral role. We'll talk about that today. We'll talk Lloyd Snook responding to my commentary from this morning on the I Love CVille network on his take-home compensation. Lloyd Snook, a two-term city councilor and a defense attorney, the co-owner with his wife of their law practice, which is 25 feet down from where I'm sitting right now. We're in the same building as owners in the Macklin building. We'll talk the comment that Lloyd Snook sent to the I Love CVille network moments ago on today's show. We're ready to lock and load. Which topic is most interesting to you, Judah Wickhauer?
It's definitely interesting that we've got the same choice for mayor for the next 4 years, and the
2 years. They're 2-year terms. 4 years for council, mayor's 2 years. You serve as mayor for 2 years.
Okay.
But Juan Diego Wade will do back-to-back 2-year terms, so he'll be the mayor of Charlottesville for 4 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we'll talk about that.
Viewers and listeners, if you're ready to rock and roll with us, put your comments in the feed, like the show, share the show. We're going to get rocking and rolling, guys, on the I Love CVille show. Ready to rock and roll, Judah, when you're ready.
Quiet on the set.
Good Tuesday afternoon, guys. I'm Jerry Miller, and thank you kindly for joining us on the I Love CVille show. It's a pleasure to connect with you guys through the I Love CVille network. We appreciate your viewership, your listenership, and your support. If you like the show and appreciate the content we create on a daily basis, we ask you kindly to help us spread the gospel by liking the show. Whatever platform you're watching upon, the show airs on all of them. Hammer that like button and do us a solid and take it a step further by sharing the show or tagging a friend in the comments section. Let them know that we're here to highlight Charlottesville and Albemarle County in Central Virginia for all its blessings, all its warts, and everything in between. Today's program embodies those qualities as we now have some clarity with who will lead Charlottesville, Virginia for the next 2 years as mayor. It's Juan Diego Wade. For a second term in a row, Juan Diego Wade will be the mayor of Charlottesville. This is a 2-year stint. You're on council for 4 years. You're a mayor for 2. The folks that pick the mayor are the 5 councilors. And last night, Juan Diego Wade was selected by his peers to be mayor, and Natalie Oshrin was selected as the vice mayor. And an interesting wrinkle from last night, Michael Payne nominated himself for mayor, and his 4 contemporaries did not vote for him or acknowledge his nomination. So Michael Payne, who wanted to be the mayor of Charlottesville, citing experience and the fact that it's his second term on council, got 0 votes of support from Natalie Oshrin, Juan Diego Wade, Jen Fleischer, or Juan Diego Wade, or Lloyd Snook. We'll talk about that on today's program. Speaking of Lloyd Snook, I also want to talk about the comments that he sent to the I Love CVille network minutes ago about his compensation as the co-owner of a law practice, co-owned with his wife. Lloyd Snook was very crystal clear that his take-home income with his law practice has suffered tremendously since being on council, and this is his second term. I will read verbatim what Lloyd Snook sent us exclusively to the I Love CVille network on his take-home compensation, his pay with his law practice, and how it's dropped big time since being on council. Lloyd Snook, a friend, we respect what he does tremendously. We don't always agree with him. We're also neighbors in the same office building. He is 25 feet down the hall from where I'm sitting, probably less. I mean, how far do you think is the front door to his offices? 20 feet? 25 feet?
20, but yeah.
I mean, not that far away, ladies and gentlemen. We will talk on today's program, compensation. I've been putting a lot of commentary on the show on how maybe the lowest paying job in Charlottesville City is Charlottesville City Council, where you're working, 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week on the regular, and you're making $18,000 a year as a councilor, $20,000 a year as a mayor, less than $10 an hour you are earning to serve a position where 50% of the community hates your guts, 25% of the community doesn't know your name, and the other 25% lukewarm supports you. I mean, it is a thankless job for indentured servitude compensation. I genuinely believe at this point that Natalie Oshrin, the weddings and events sales manager for Pippin Hill, is the highest earning counselor. Juan Diego Wade is retired. I heard an interview with Juan Diego Wade on the morning show this morning, driving into work. He said he's retired. He's clocking about 30 hours regularly per week for city council. And his hobbies now and interest are crocheting. He's an avid crocheter. Is that the word, crocheter?
I guess. I've never thought about what you would call someone who...
That's what he actively does. Juan Diego Wade in his spare time is crocheting. He's retired. Michael Payne doesn't have a full-time job. Jen Fleischer works for the Blue Ridge Health District as a program coordinator. Lloyd Snook has said his income is drastically been impacted by his time on council. Those comments I will read verbatim to you in a matter of moments. So that probably leaves Natalie Oshrin, who is the sales manager for weddings and events at Pippin Hill, which is probably the Bentley, the G-Wagon of vineyards in Central Virginia. I'd say it's Pippin Hill. I mean, Trump in Keswick is certainly up there as well. But if you're booking a gig, a wedding, an event at Pippin Hill, that's the 1% of venues in Central Virginia. She's got to be base compensation with some commissions, as most sales jobs are. And you're looking at the youngest counselor as the top take-home earner on the dais. We'll unpack that on today's show. We have news from the University of Virginia, including a promise and a pledge from Scott Beardsley, the newly elected president, who says he will remain impartial politically neutral. Democrats are not buying it. I'm still convinced that Abigail Spanberger is backroom dealing right now on a potential replacement for Scott Beardsley. Not saying she will do it. I'm saying that Spanberger is considering it. There is a Board of Visitors meeting that started this morning at 10 a.m. It may still be going on. There is news from the University of Virginia that we need to report. Mark Weathers, who was formerly the chief of staff of the UVA School of Medicine. He's been now named the chief operating officer of the Paul Manning Biotech Institute, which is under construction on Fontaine Avenue. The Paul Manning Biotech Institute, a 350,000 square foot facility that costs $350 million to build over there on Fontaine, Dardanelles, Guadalajara, the former Guadalajara, Pineapple, that area. Has now got two head honchos, Mark Weathers as the CEO and as the lead of the Paul Manning Biotech Institute. The Institute's chief scientific officer and head is Mark Esser of AstraZeneca. These appointments are significant. Remember, Mark Esser formerly worked at AstraZeneca as a vice president. 7 months after Mark Esser was tabbed as the head of the Paul Manning Biotech Institute, AstraZeneca, his former employer, announces that they're going to invest $4.5 billion into northern Albemarle County to build their world headquarters. That construction, that $4.5 billion investment by AstraZeneca, will radically change and certainly gentrify Albemarle County, Charlottesville, and Central Virginia, which we've covered in the past. We've covered very well in the past. So a lot of news and notes, ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, including a couple of macro headlines, a national headline and a statewide headline that I'm going to localize to Charlottesville. Wegmans Grocery Stores is using artificial intelligence, facial recognition technology at a store in New York City. That is certainly a beta test. So while activists in our community berated and railed against the Charlottesville Police Department and its use of artificial intelligence with Flock, a camera system that basically tracks the activities of people breaking the law, are these same activists going to picket and protest outside Wegmans on 5th Street Extended when similar technology is going to be utilized as you purchase your skim milk, your loaf of bread, your canned tuna, Judah's Little Debbie's and his Twinkies? Is that in your grocery cart?
Neither of those.
The Neapolitan ice cream, the eggnog, the Smithfield bacon.
Coffee ice cream, baby.
Coffee ice cream for
That's
Judah
the good
Whitcow.
stuff.
A lot we're going to cover on the broadcast today. Like and share the show. We'll give some love to Conan Owen of Surspedia, Central Virginia. He's going to be on the show tomorrow at 12:30 as we talk business development. A piece of business news that I'm going to get out on the network here. I'm going to start creating a business notebook on the I Love CVille network, and this business notebook will be in written form that I'll publish on ilovecville.com. It will highlight the comings and goings of the business community, including real estate transactions, business brokerage, business sales, new leases that have been signed, leases that will not be renewed. Basically, the moving and shaking of the business community that I think is vastly, and frankly, I don't think it's being reported upon at all, except for what we're doing on this network. So I'm going to put that in the written form on ilovecville.com for you guys to read and enjoy. Conan Owen, Surspedia, Central Virginia, locally owned and operated. If you have a logo in a business and you need exposure for your logo and your business, I would encourage you to reach out to Conan Owen, who does a really good job with signage, with window decals, with direct mail. The banner behind me is a Surspedia special. Conan Owen and Surspedia, Central Virginia, locally owned and operated. Studio camera, Judah Whitcower. Folks can see our studio, roughly $75,000 or $80,000 in equipment here. That we have slowly pieced together over years. We haven't done it at one time to create a network that rivals anything that CBS 19 or NBC 29 or any of the radio stations can do. Frankly, we're reaching more people because our content is on all the social media platforms and podcasting platforms. I ask you the same question every day. First, I want to give you props on the jacket. I think I highlight your jacket every single day. Frankly, I'm thinking about taking it from you, although I won't do that because you are my friend, and we've worked together for, 16 years and change. It's the first Tuesday of 2026. We will never get this day back again. Make the most of it, Judah Wickower. Yeah. And I'll highlight for all the viewers and listeners, life is a fight for a knife in the mud. Unpack that. But I'll give it to you again. Life is a fight for a knife in the mud. I'm curious of you, Judah Wickower, which headline is most intriguing to you and why? And if it's something that's not on the rundown, my friend, carte blanche, anywhere you want to go. I will chameleon-like and adapt to you.
Interesting. Well, I'm certainly interested in the Juan Diego Wade retaining his seat as mayor of Charlottesville.
Neither you nor I won the bet.
Right.
The first bet in ever in I Love CVille network history that has no winner. But go ahead, offer more commentary.
There's also an interesting story coming out of Stanton where they'd also said no to the flock cameras, but there's a Stanton resident who wants a complete ban on plate readers to ensure that no future city council can put up something like the flock cameras without bringing in the citizenry and make sure that something like flock doesn't weasel its way in by going over the heads of something like city council. I just find it interesting.
The wild thing about the flock and the artificial intelligence to track human behavior and potentially criminals, it's activist one, right? There's no flock cameras in Charlottesville City. They protested the tracking of human behavior. They protested the tracking of folks that are breaking the law. Here's the wild thing. Artificial intelligence, basically flock cameras, in the very near future will be a part of many, if not most, private businesses in this community. And when police are looking to track a criminal that's broken the law, all they are going to do is work with private businesses and utilizing their artificial intelligence to track human behavior. It's going to be the same damn thing, if not even more sophisticated. Wegmans rolling something out. They're testing it in New York City, beta testing it.
They're using it for, as far as I understand it, they're using it in select stores where they have had problems with theft.
With criminal behavior.
And so they're going to use it to potentially single out people that they've had problems with before. Lest we forget, we have cameras and microphones in our pockets or in our hands almost, I would say, most of the day. Most of us don't hide their phones somewhere. Women may put them in their purses, men put them in their pockets. But when you think that these things are not gathering any information, for instance, like, is my phone listening to me? They say, no, it's not, but it responds when you say, hey, Siri, or hey, Alexa, or hey, whatever. I'm just saying that we have cameras and microphones potentially recording everything we're saying and doing.
It highlights the absolute hypocrisy, some would call it idiocy, of activists locally. Let's protest the flock cameras that are used to track criminals, but let's not mention a word about even more sophisticated technology that is tracking the vehicles, comings and goings of our city parking garages, including the make and model of your car, your license plate, how many passengers you have in the vehicle, and the days and times that you're coming in and out of the garage, scheduling it with their technology. They do not highlight the issues of Wegmans and all these other private companies that are rolling out the same technology as Flock. And frankly speaking, if you remember Charlottesvillians in September of 2014, Hannah Graham was on the downtown mall, an 18-year-old second year at the University of Virginia. She was partying at Tempo Restaurant, probably with a fake ID. And Jesse Matthew picked Hannah Graham up, carried her out of Tempo Restaurant on the downtown mall, and later murdered her. And one of the ways that Jesse Matthew was eventually apprehended was the downtown mall business owners that had cameras outside their restaurant. The Charlottesville Police Department, Tim Longo, I believe the police chief at the time, galvanized all the business owners on the downtown mall and said, help us figure out what happened to Hannah Graham. Something happened here in the downtown mall. Let us see your camera footage. Okay? So regardless, activists that watch this program, and I'll catch missiles for this, the stuff you protest is surface at best. Surface at best.
I think it highlights a deeper point that that a lot of technology is a balancing act of what is beneficial and what is damaging to us as a society.
We'll talk minimum wage increasing. What's the jump for Virginia minimum wage?
The minimum wage is being raised to $12.77.
And like that, small business owners in the Commonwealth of Virginia faced significant, even more overhead and even more concern or even more cuts to their bottom line. We'll highlight how the increase in minimum, and I'm all for everyone earning income. All for everyone earning income. I do want to highlight that the small business owner in the Commonwealth of Virginia is operating at the slimmest of margins right now, while the big box brands are operating at war chest of capital and revenue. A lot to cover on the program. I think the lead of the show, as you put the lower third on screen, is Juan Diego Wade, Judah. A second two-year term for Juan Diego Wade as mayor of Charlottesville. Juan Diego Wade is in the middle of his second four-year term of council. I'll highlight how this works. For those that do not watch the program regularly, the population of Charlottesville, voters, elect councilors. It's a Democratic stranglehold. It's a stranglehold for the Democrats in Charlottesville City. The primary determines who will be on council, not the general election. This past primary, Juan Diego Wade and Jen Fleischer and Brian Pinkston were brouhahaing. Juan Diego Wade and Brian Pinkston ran as a ticket. They're neighbors, they're buddies, they're pals. Jen Fleischer, the rookie, the newcomer on the block. Fleischer beats Pinkston. Fleischer beats Wade. They were two spots on council. Wade beats Pinkston. Wade gets in for a second four-year term. Fleischer is in for her first four-year term. Wade and Fleischer get back on the dais where they are joined by Natalie Ostrin, Lloyd Snook, and Michael Payne, who are in the middle of their four-year term. Michael a second go-around, Lloyd a second go-around, Natalie in her first. Last night, the five councilors determine who's going to be the mayor. It's not the populace who determines it, it's the councilors. Last night, you saw a lot of dynamics play out. Michael Payne, in the middle of his second term, a socialist, nominated himself for mayor. This was my racehorse to win a $75 bottle of scotch. My racehorse finished in dead last here. Michael Payne said, I want to be the mayor of Charlottesville. I'm in the middle of my second term. I have the experience. I've put in the vote. I've put in the work. And when it was time for his contemporaries on the dais to vote, this is what happened, Judah.
Nobody raised a hand to second his nomination.
Crickets. And Michael Payne, just like that, realized that his time probably on council is up when this term is over. Because neither Lloyd Snook, nor Natalie Ostrin, nor Juan Diego Wade, nor newcomer Jen Fleischer supported him for the top seat. And then Juan Diego Wade's name came up. and Juan Diego Wade got a landslide 5-0 vote of support. And for the second 2-year term, Juan Diego Wade will be the mayor of Charlottesville. And Natalie Oshrin, the youngest counselor on the dais, was voted vice mayor. Your thoughts on Juan Diego Wade being named mayor of Charlottesville, Virginia?
I feel like it's we're happy with how things are going. Let's not change anything. If that's the way the council feels, then that's the way council feels. It's their decision.
And that right there is the problem. By voting Juan Diego Wade for another 2-year term on council, it offers the perception, the optics, that Charlottesville City is fine with what has happened over the last 24 months. And I don't see how any taxpayer, any homeowner, any tenant, any employee of any Charlottesville business can be pleased with how Charlottesville has performed in the last 24 months. Tourism dollars are down. Food and beverage taxes are down. Home values are flat. The downtown mall, the heartbeat of the community, has not recovered since COVID.
Yeah.
Councilors voting 5-0 that Juan Diego Wade should be the mayor for a second term. They tell our community that we are fine with how the last 24 months have transpired. And we should not be okay with that. We have a downtown mall that is at a 6-year low since 2019. We have a University of Virginia that continues to purchase real estate in the city, taking it off tax rolls. We have a Federal Executive Institute that was given to Charlottesville, then it was flip-flopped back to UVA. We have city schools where performance is a point of contention and concern. We have a homeless issue that continues to be palpable and tangible. We have $6.2 million spent on a shelter on Holiday Drive. What is the effing plan for this shelter? And when are we going to hear it? We have a 50-year anniversary that's upcoming for the downtown mall, and we don't have a marketing strategy, a plan. We don't have any bullet points. We don't have any celebration milestones. We don't have any talking points. Okay? When you tell the community that Juan Wade is the mayor for another 24 months, the optics suggest that it's business as usual. And I can't emphasize enough how business as usual is a terrifying proposition in Charlottesville. That was my issue with Juan Wade. Great guy, lovable guy. His hobby, his pastime is crocheting. I learned it this morning on the morning show. Scoots around city of Charlottesville on a moped.
I've seen him.
He's got a helmet on, a white helmet on. He's got stickers on his moped. He does the beep, beep, beep on the moped and waves to people as he's driving down the road. Literally, it's not every day that you see a gentleman that looks like a teddy bear driving around 22 miles an hour on a moped, buzzing his horn and giving people the wave. That's only in Charlottesville, folks. Got no beef with Juan Wade as a person. My beef is the optics here. Now, Natalie Oshrin as vice mayor, second, lower third. Put that on screen, Judah Wickhauer. What do you make of the youngest counselor as vice mayor of Charlottesville, Virginia, J-Dubs?
I mean, she was my choice, so I'm glad I got that far. Anyways, I'm not sure what. I don't know that she's going to have a whole lot of effect. I'm not sure how much the vice mayor has an effect on council politics to begin with. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how she'll attempt to, I don't know, push Wade in particular directions or guide the conversation.
I think
Again, we'll see.
Natalie Oshrin earning the confidence of her council contemporaries as vice mayor is noteworthy for the following reasons. Number one, Natalie Oshrin is politically motivated. Her goal is a future in politics, and council is not the ceiling of her trajectory. She is a Virginia delegate waiting to happen, state senator waiting to happen, and if you probably sat down with Natalie Oshrin and you gave her a couple of bottles of Pippin Hill Merlot, she'd probably talk about Congress or U.S. Senate or something along those lines.
Wow.
And when you have on your resume, Vice Mayor of Charlottesville, it's a trampoline or a platform into higher office. The Vice Mayor also sets the agenda and runs council meetings when the mayor is not present.
Yeah.
Juan has missed a couple of meetings. Anyone will miss them. No issues with somebody taking a break for personal reasons. Then the Vice Mayor steps in. We saw that with Brian Pinkston, who just stepped off council. The most significant outcome of Natalie Oshrin and Vice Mayor is another notch on the resume as she climbs politically the totem pole. Now, speaking of Natalie Oshrin, I believe now, after hearing Lloyd Snook's comments, reading Lloyd Snook's comments, which he exclusively sent to the I Love CVille network about his take-home compensation with his law firm, I will read them verbatim on the program here in a matter of moments. I think the youngest counselor on the dais, Natalie Oshrin, is the top earner on the dais. Hear me out, Judah Wickower. Juan Diego Wade is retired. When he's not working 30, 40 plus hours a week on council, he's at home in his lazy boy, crocheting sweaters, shawls, baby booties, big bird sweaters. What else?
Does he have an Etsy?
What else do you
Does he have an Etsy? I love sweaters. I'd be interested in seeing what kind of sweaters.
Juan Diego Wade, I'm a
is making.
medium, somewhere between small and medium. Crochet me a sweater, I'll kick you 30 bills, and I'll wear it on the I Love CVille show and give you props on your Etsy store.
$30 for a sweater?
What? I don't wear. What's the cost of a sweater? I don't buy clothes. I don't go grocery shop. What's the cost of a sweater?
It probably depends on where you get it.
You're
but
wearing an
imagine,
Ann Wickower original sweater. Or were you? One day you were. How much was the Ann Wickower original sweater?
You'd have to ask her how much she paid herself for it when she gave it to me for Christmas.
Juan Diego Wade, crochet me a sweater, and I'll give you branding recognition on the I Love CVille network, and I'll sport your sweater all over Charlottesville, all over social media, and the breweries and restaurants that my wife and I and children like to patronize. Okay? But my point is this. He's retired. Mm-hmm. My point is this. Michael Payne, as of a little while ago, was living at home with his parents and still does not have a full-time job. My point is this. Lloyd Snook, I'm going to read the comments he sent to the I Love CVille network on his take-home compensation and how dramatically and drastically it's been reduced since his 2 terms on council. And my point is this. Jen Fleischer, she works for the Blue Ridge Health District as a program coordinator. She's not making many smackaroos over there. Okay? So your highest paid counselor is probably your youngest in Natalie Oshrin, who's slinging weddings and events for Pippin Hill, the champagne of wedding venues in vineyards, pun intended, in Central Virginia. Okay? Oshrin, total compensation, I have no idea. Everyone on the I Love CVille network keeps asking, what's their net worth? Do you think we know what their net worth is, ladies and gentlemen? We do know Lloyd Snook, I'm going to read the comment here in a matter of moments, told us that his mortgage is paid off and he's got no debt on it. We can use the Charlottesville GIS to search his last name, Snook, figure out where he lives, and extrapolate some market value for his house, which we can attribute to his net worth. He owns the office right down the hall from us. I bet he doesn't have a mortgage on that. We can add that to his net worth. But as I said yesterday, these men and women are far from wealthy.
Yeah.
Far from wealthy. And in fact, these men and women are sacrificing their earning window and their earning potential working this 30, 40 plus hour a week job where 50% of the community hates their effing guts, 25% of the community doesn't even know their name, and the remaining 25% is lukewarm in support.
I would say it's less than 50 that hate their guts.
Oh, did you nuts, dog.
Really?
50% of this community hates these people's guts. And if you took the the footprint, the geographical territory outside of Charlottesville City, as the ideology becomes less, far more center-aisled and less left-leaning, that percentage of the region that hates their guts becomes even more than 50%.
You're talking about outside of Charlottesville.
Outside of Charlottesville, without question.
Who cares about outside
Inside
of
Charlottesville, it's 50% hates their guts.
So you're saying 50% of the people just don't vote because they're not getting good choices?
You can, okay.
I mean, I'm
Lloyd, let's look. Who should we look at here?
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Juan Diego Wade, 2025 Charlottesville City Council votes. Let's see if I can find this on CVillepedia, if I can figure this out. Oh, doing this on the fly over here. 2025 election. Jen Fleischer got 12,790 votes. Juan Diego Wade got 12,369 votes. You're talking 12,000 people, because it's the same people voting for Fleischer and Wade, right?
Yeah.
The community is roughly 50,000 people. So you're talking 1 in 4 voted?
Yeah.
1 in 4 Charlottesvillians put these people into office to run a $264 million fiscal year 2026 budget. Half the community hates their guts, 25% doesn't even know their name, and the remaining 25% just wants to wear their Big Bird crocheted sweater. Juan, Wade, give me one. Please. That's a Home Alone reference. When Macaulay Culkin's character, Kevin, tells his parents, Grandma made me a Big Bird sweater. If I wear that in the 3rd grade, kids will beat me up next to the seesaw, next to the swings. Now, let's get to Lloyd Snook's comments. Goodness gracious. Counselor Snook, this is why we love him. Love you, Lloyd. This is what he said. I offered this commentary this morning on the I Love CVille network. And if you're not following me on Facebook, if you're not following I Love CVille on Instagram, following us on Twitter or LinkedIn, ladies and gentlemen, you're missing the source of content in the region. And it's not even close. I'm literally watching the print, radio, and television stations listening to us on the show and watching us on the show right now. And some of these 23-year-old newscasters are asking Judah out for a martini lunch right now.
What?
I said this.
I'll take it.
I know you would. You just got to go get it. Change your seat in the airplane and sit next to the lady you want to pursue as opposed to the seat you were assigned. And next thing you know, weeks later, she will quit her job at Blackstone working in finance at the Big Apple, move down to your home at Redfields, and 10 years after that, you'll have 2 children, a home in Ivy, and a chaotic life. I hear that's how it works. I say it this morning. I said I printed I printed it this morning. That's what happened with my wife and I.
I know.
You were there.
I know, Jerry.
Okay, you saw me move my seat, right?
Yes, I remember. I was being somewhat sarcastic.
But they can't pick up the sarcasm.
It's okay.
I appreciate your sarcasm because I've known you for 16 years, but it's rather dry.
It is.
Would you not say?
Oh, it's very dry.
Okay. Just so we're on the same page. A joke is not a joke if the people don't know it's a joke.
I don't care if they know it's a joke or not.
Then doesn't that mean you're the only one that's laughing?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You're saying that nobody knows it's a joke. I'm saying I don't care if someone knows it's a joke.
Okay.
I'm sure some people out there would have gotten it.
Okay. I respect that. I print this, Judah, this morning. There is a misconception around Charlottesville, Virginia, that the mayor and Charlottesville city councilors are earning kickbacks or indirect income from being elected officials. Weren't you surprised by how many people were saying over the last 3 or 4 days that these councilors are earning so much kickbacks and indirect income from their jobs?
I don't think I saw as many in the comments as you did, but yeah.
There were hundreds of people commenting that.
I mean, this isn't, this isn't Chicago or New
House
York
of Cards.
City
This is not Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, they're not.
Frank.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
You've never seen House of Cards?
No.
Watch it. It's on Netflix. It's really good.
There's too much to watch.
It's excellent. I say this. I printed this morning. I'm going to squash that misconception now. Mayor Juan Diego Wade is retired. Vice Mayor Natalie Oshrin sells weddings and events for Pippin Hill Farm and Vineyards. Councilor Michael Payne does not have a full-time job. Councilor Jen Fleischer is a program officer for the Blue Ridge Health District. Councilor Lloyd Snook is a defense attorney. Perhaps Councilor Snook is earning more income with his law practice because of his clout and notoriety from City Council. However, the other four are not earning additional income because of their political positions. Let's drop this misconception, please. Within 10 minutes of publishing this on the I Love CVille network, the post went viral. Thousands of unique IP addresses were reading it, watching it, or commenting on it, including Donna Price, the retired Albemarle County Board of Supervisor, who went to bat for Lloyd Snook, calling my commentary backhanded to Lloyd Snook. And then lo and behold, Councilor Snook, who's 25 feet down the hall from us, as I'm going to the John, I oftentimes pass Lloyd, who's going out the exit or entrance of this building. And we say in the hallway, "How are you doing, Councilor Snook?" And he says, "I'm doing great. If I would be doing any better, it would be illegal," or something like that. And then he walks to his...
Suspiciously like someone who is
Keith
often
Smith.
in our office.
He walks then to his Honda Civic that's parked in front of the car that's got Lloyd Snook propaganda stickers all over it. Lloyd Snook for council. He responds with this message to me: "Jerry Miller, for your information, my income from my law practice is down since going on council, not up. I don't take criminal defense cases in Charlottesville that have a chance of becoming politically sensitive, so no shootings, no murders, no drug defense. Many of my former clients seem suspicious of hiring a member of Charlottesville government to oppose the Charlottesville prosecutor. My practice has shifted to other more boring things, estate litigation in particular. Before going on council, my law practice was a 60-hour-a-week gig. Since going on council, I have been spending 20 to 30 hours a week on government matters, leaving 30 to 40 hours a week for lawyering. So no, my law practice income is down since serving on council, and by more than the amount of my council salary. Fortunately, my mortgage is paid off." He's saying he's losing money in compensation since being on council, and he's in the middle of his second term. First term, 4 years, 2 years into his second term.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd Snook, straight up saying, this job negatively impacts earning potential and income. Okay? So for the viewers and listeners that are watching and listening to this show, we're going to do the following. We're going to squash the misconception that Frank from House of Cards is on the dais in City Hall and getting kickbacks from eager beaver developers or getting the wheels greased by the trash collecting mafia. That is not happening here. There are not nightclub owners that are trying to whisk in sirens of the night from Southeast Asia and greasing the wheels of elected officials to look the other way. That's not happening here. There are not drug distributors that are laundering their money and washing their money in businesses like laundromats in the city of Charlottesville by greasing the wheels with counselors. This is not House of Cards or Netflix. This is little old boring Charlottesville, Virginia, 10.2 square miles, where 25% of the population elects people to manage and oversee a $264 million fiscal year 2026 budget. So no more misconceptions of kickbacks or greasing the wheels or backroom dealings. Doesn't happen. Not saying it doesn't happen at a higher level of office, okay? Obviously, Glenn Youngkin's getting political support and donations, and then in turn, putting some of the folks that politically supported him financially onto boards like the UVA Board of Visitors. Cough, 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 Bert Ellis. Right? Cough, 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 Paul Manning. Right? But on council, it does not happen. Sonia Smith might be kicking a hell of a lot of money to Ann Malik, but that doesn't mean Ann Malik in the Whitehall district of Albemarle County is driving around in a Bentley or a G-Wagon. Ann Malik, if she was driving around right now, what kind of car would she be driving? I don't know. What's your guess?
man, I don't know. Something small.
2022 Prius is my guess, with a spare tire for her back right tire, because she hasn't replaced the tire that got a flat while she was driving around in the Whitehall district trying to keep water from growing to the Pro Renata brewery. Sure. Literally, she did that to John Shabe. Mm-hmm. That's why he went to Stanton. I'm saying Malik drives a Prius. What's Galloway drive, a Subaru? I'm almost confident, because I see Fred Missel at the Boar said that he drives a Subaru. Mike Pruitt is definitely a Subaru or a Prius. Do you agree or disagree on that?
Sure.
I think B. Lepisto Kirtley in the Keswick district and the gated community of Keswick, she's probably driving around. I'll give her a GLE, a Benz GLE for B.
No Lexus.
You say Lexus?
I don't know.
SUV or sedan?
Sedan.
Yeah. She'd have a hard time getting into she's an older lady. She couldn't get up into that SUV. If she had got one of those SUVs, got that 20-inch wheel that has to get up there, she couldn't do it. Sedan for B. Lepisto Kirtley. I'm going to say it's a GLA, not a GLE. GLA is more car and lower profile to the ground.
There you go.
My point is, no grease and wheels, dogs. No kickbacks, friends. None of that stuff happening. Viewers and listeners, let us know your comments. Put them in the feed. We will relay them live on air. Judah Wickhauer, your thoughts?
My thoughts.
Which one drives a Subaru, Jason Noble? It's got to be a lot of Subarus and Priuses for the elected officials in Charlottesville City and in Albemarle County. Viewers and listeners, we know Lloyd Snook drives a Honda Civic, and it's not a new one. Your thoughts, Judah. I rudely interrupted you. I apologize.
I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to have thoughts on.
It's a talk show.
What car people are driving?
Anywhere you want to go.
Oh, man. I don't know where to go from this. Let's see. What do we got?
The compelling commentary from Judah Wickhauer over here. All right, let's go to the viewers and listeners. John Blair's photo on screen. Yes. Number 2 in the family, John Blair. Jerry, John Blair says, no one should doubt Lloyd Snook. I know another attorney who is on a governing body in Virginia. He told me that his income has dropped 50% since he was elected due to the time he has to devote to public office. 50%. I wonder how much David Toscano's income as an attorney was impacted by his time as a Virginia delegate. Or Cree Deeds.
Yeah.
Katrina Coulson at least works for Charlottesville City, where she has a consistent salary. She's got 2 kids at St. Anne's Belfield Academy. That ain't cheap. James Watson watching the program. His photo on screen. Salute to the folks who hold office on council. It's essentially a volunteer job when you look at the amount of time put in relative to pay. No way a mayor should earn under $100,000. The Dillon Rule state situation should allow localities to pay more for those council positions. I love James Watson. He recently had a birthday. James Watson is 50 years old, but he looks like he's 30 years old. He is somehow reverse aging. How are you doing that, James? Like the founder of Venmo, he is reverse aging. But James, I think, is doing it with IPAs and basketball and football games, where the founder of Venmo is doing it through some weird, creepy stuff, and he does not look good, not like James does.
Is it the guy that's, I don't want to get into it, but
asking
his
that guy.
son for donations?
That guy.
That's
There's a Netflix documentary on him. Watch it. It's creepy.
Bet it's creepy. I don't need to watch the...
It's creepy. I watched it. Here's my issue with paying, and remember, in 2026, the counselors voted. In 2026, the counselors will be compensated $34,000 a year. It's upping to $34K. They voted a little while ago to increase their compensation from $18,000 for a counselor and $20,000 to a mayor to $34,000. Okay, so it's nearly going to 2x. It's a pretty substantial increase. I would like to see those increases happen nominally, marginally every year, then go from $18,000 to $34,000, and the community is like, dude, you're 2xing your salary. What the hell's going on here? It's a bad look. Like naming Juan Wade the mayor for another 2-year term. It's a bad look. Okay, my issue with a $100,000 salary for a mayor, that's when you start creating career politicians. And when you pay a politician in Charlottesville $100,000, $75,000 a year, $80,000 a year, that's not get wealthy money. You're going to be doing well. It's not get wealthy money. I'm going to be very frank. The median household income for a family is $126,000 here. Okay? But when you start paying $75,000, $100,000, $65,000, anywhere in there, I'm curious of what the viewers and listeners think is the break-even point. Then you start getting a career politician. And career politicians breed nepotism, cronyism, corruption, backroom dealing. They want a stranglehold on the office because it's their everything. Someone making $18K a year, which equates to less than $10 an hour, doing a job where half the community hates their guts, 25% lukewarm supports them, and the other 25% don't know their name, that's indentured servitude. You're an indentured servant. Literally. You disagree?
It's a little, I think you're going a little far.
They're getting paid in pork chops and green beans and Texas toast, basically. You disagree?
I wouldn't say it's indentured servitude.
Ginny Hu watching the broadcast. Her photo on screen. We should discuss the possibility of government overreach with Flock while still acknowledging that a homeless man and access to license plate videos help ID the brown shooter. And then she gives me a little grief. Handmade crocheted sweaters? Come on, Jerry. You can't even buy yarn for a sweater for $30.
Yeah.
She also says, think of how much you charge per hour for consultants and they value your time. Crafters should charge for their worth of their time as well. $2.95 an hour at this firm, and we're undervalued.
And I'm going to go ahead and guess that it takes longer than an hour and a half to crochet a sweater.
He probably crochets my Big Bird sweater during the time he solves the puzzle for Wheel of Fortune and then gets the daily double Jeopardy during Jeopardy.
So you're saying 1 hour?
And speaking of Wheel of Fortune, Ryan Seacrest.
Fast.
Ryan Seacrest is the host of Wheel of Fortune.
I haven't seen it since.
Has anyone seen what's happened to Ryan Seacrest's face with Ozempic and Botox? Good Lord. Leave the Ozempic and the Botox alone, Ryan Seacrest. But Vanna White, she still looks great. She looks great. Ryan Seacrest, you're a shell of your former self, sir.
Vanna White is eternal.
Vanna White is timeless. Timeless elegance. You talk about one of the best jobs in the world. Studio cam, please. Studio cam. Vanna White, can I buy a vowel?
Hold on. Oh.
Vanna White, can I buy a vowel? Can I get an S? That's all she does. You talk about one of the best jobs in the world, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Come on. Comments coming in fast. Vanessa Parkhill, her photo on screen, the Queen of Earlysville. What happens to unspent political donations once a candidate is no longer running for office? I can answer that. The candidates keep their donation in their political account and are able to designate those donations how they see fit, but have to document the designations, the donations accordingly. Oftentimes you will see political candidates who have money spent that were donated to them that choose not to run, donating their reserves to a candidate that they endorse moving forward. Conan Owen watching the program. How did an unemployed millennial who lived with his parents end up on city council? I get life is tough and he can relate to the struggles of a lot of residents. He's talking Michael Payne here. But does that track record speak to his judgment and analytical skills to plot the future of such a considerable enterprise? I think that's a fair question. And people think I throw shade on Major Payne here. Do you think I throw shade on Major Payne?
You throw shade on everyone.
Jesus. You don't think I should highlight on the talk show that Michael Payne just moved out of his parents' house and he's in his 30s and doesn't have a full-time job? And he's in charge of a $264 million fiscal year 2026 budget. You think that is wrong?
I never said that.
Okay, no, I need the viewer and listener to answer this question for me. One of 5 people that's entrusted with allocating and spending, earmarking a $264 million budget, fiscal year 2026, Charlottesville, Virginia. Recently moved out of his parents' house. And he's in his 30s and does not have a full-time job. I'm not being a dick there. You think I am?
No, but sometimes it sounds, what's the word I'm looking for?
Frank, honest,
How do you know he lives in his parents' house?
factual.
How do you-
I know. We
all know. Okay.
This is why people watch and listen to the talk show. He's moved out. He's moved out. He took the crocheted Juan Diego Wade original Big Bird with him. He's moved out. But should I not highlight that?
No, I never said that.
Viewers and listeners, should I highlight that? If you say no, I should not, and enough of you, I won't. I will not. But I think there's tremendous responsibility that comes with a $264 million budget. And that responsibility is I justify trust of a $264 million budget management with experience and resume and history and life.
That's fair, but that being said, there's no like basic proficiency or skill set that is required. I mean, required.
Choose your words very carefully here, because I'm about to pick them apart like Thanksgiving turkey, but go ahead.
Oh, you can feel free to. I'm just saying that there's no list of requirements to run for city council.
Yes, that is true. I cannot pick that apart. All you have to do is get enough votes to be on there. And he's done it twice.
Yeah.
Touche. Less than 25% of Charlottesvillians voted.
Yeah.
Think about that in the last election.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. Jim Hingley sending me a text message.
Interesting.
I'm going to read it. He says, when commenting on voters who like or don't like counselors, you might choose apples to apples comparisons. As of January 1st, 2006, active registered voters totaled 33,803. So a 12,000 plus vote for a counselor is a stronger preference than comparing that number of votes to total population.
That's a good point.
And why that's a good point is, say the population is 50,000, somewhere between, that's a rough estimate. Some of those are children.
Yeah.
And some aren't registered voters.
Mm-hmm.
He does say this is a 2006 number, 33,803, and that number has increased over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But to Jim's point, it's not all the population that votes. My point also stands true. A small portion of the population is picking the people who allocate the $264 million.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Carol Thorpe, watching the program, the Queen of Jack Jewett. Their payments were never, this is a long paragraph here. Their payments were never meant to be salary, more like stipends and honorariums. Serving in elected local government was always wisely intended to be akin to being lightly compensated civic duty. If it pays enough to become a job, then that's what it becomes. A profitable, if not highly profitable venture that officials fight to retain, sometimes for decades. As for the number of hours of work involved, their predecessors slowly built up their own workload and responsibilities over decades. It is unnecessary to have at least one counselor sit on every single organization's board meetings. A lot of this extra time, added responsibility is self-imposed. This allows them to point to their workload and cry for more money. The city manager is and should be one who shoulders the day-to-day responsibility of managing the money and running the city like a CEO. That's why he gets a combined $300,000 annual in salary and benefits. He is guided by the council, but he does the heavy lifting to run the show. If the counselors were to earn significantly more, then voters need to elect some with real business or financial experience. Their current crop and those in recent years has next to none. Jim Hingley corrects the text he sent to me with a follow-up text by saying, sorry, that was a typo, Jerry. The 33,803 is a 2026 statistic, so it's up to date. Thank you, Jim, for that clarification, and thank you, Jim, for that insight. You're a gentleman and you're a scholar, and we have roughly 35% of the bottle of this top-shelf scotch that you gifted Judah and I. It is an absolute delight and one of the best bottles of brown juice that I have ever enjoyed in my entire life.
No doubt.
I sincerely mean that, Jim Hingley. Thank you, sir. You make the program better. If the job for counsel was a $75,000 a year compensation, I would not touch it. I wouldn't touch it at 6 figures because the opportunity to tarnish your future on that dais is significant. And if you don't believe me, look at Nikiah Walker. If you don't believe me. Okay? It's to get actual businessmen and women and folks of financial acumen on that dais, it would not be about compensation. It would not be about 6-figure salaries, because they understand the collateral damage that comes with those positions. Look at Rachel Sheridan. Look at Porter Wilkinson. And that's transition to the next headline. That's called a transition in the business. Beardsley, set the stage, Judah Wickower, as we're 62 minutes in and frankly have to go make some money here. I want to give some props to Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, 61 consecutive years in business. Charlottesville Sanitary Supply. We're going to see Andrew Vermillion and John Vermillion tomorrow at 9 a.m. Their location is on East High Street. They've launched a sister company, Charlottesville Swimming Pool Company, online at charlottesvilleswimmingpoolcompany.com. Anything swimming pool related, Charlottesville Sanitary Supply, the Vermillions, and Charlottesville Swimming Pool Company can help you with. 5 generations in Albemarle County and 3 generations of family business, the Vermillions. Beardsley, Judah.
He has previously addressed, I believe, the Senate, and now he has penned a letter that went out in email form to all of UVA, where he basically lays out that his time as UVA president will be nonpartisan. I don't know that it matters at this point. I'm guessing that a lot of people have already made up their minds, and there is nothing anyone can do to change their minds. And so we will see when Abigail Spanberger takes office as governor of Virginia, which way she intends to go in terms of, as Jerry has predicted, scrapping the current UVA Board of Visitors and potentially firing their new current president and going on the search for a new one.
I am very excited. I wait with bated breath what UVA faculty are going to do when the second semester starts in days.
You really think there are going to be? You really think that most of the university is going to protest and not?
I didn't say that. I say I wait with bated breath to see what's the organization, the United Workers of Campuses, or United Campus Workers, the activists organization with colleges and university employees, whatever they're called. I'm very curious to see what they do. I'm very curious to see what Faculty Senate does. I'm very curious to see what left-leaning liberal college professors, associate professors, tenured professors, TAs, grad students, what they do. Scott Beardsley is a fantastic hire.
Yeah.
Fantastic hire. But his hire stands in total contrast with what the faculty and Virginia Democrats who control the Commonwealth have wanted the flagship university to embody and become. So yes, I expect some fireworks. And as a content creator and someone who 5 days a week relays content to you, the viewer and listener, I'm eagerly anticipating it.
No doubt.
Next headline, Judah Wickow.
Next up, we
Wegmans.
have Wegmans.
Yeah. For the folks that, I'm going to go through this quickly because we got to go make some money here. Wegmans, get ready for them to artificial intelligence and flock camera your Little Debbie cupcakes purchase, your eggnog purchase, your Kites Country ham purchase, your Smithfield bacon purchase, your DiGiorno's pepperoni pizza purchase, your Minuteman IPA purchase, your Basic City Sixth Lord purchase. What else do we buy? I'm running out of stuff. That'd be fine. That's the only things that I
Well,
buy.
just wait until
Your Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah.
And explain to me how that's any different than Chief Conscious having cameras around intersections in the city to track bad guys. There's no difference. There's no difference. And the final headline on the show, minimum wage jumps to what?
Rises 36 cents to
look,
$12.77.
I want everyone to, I genuinely celebrate anyone that does well for themselves. Comparison is the thief of joy. I want Judah, I want you, the viewer and listener, I want every single person in this entire community to be wealthy and to have an abundance of riches, okay? But be careful what you wish for, because when you take small business owners that are operating on the slimmest of margins and you tell them that they have to pay their rank and file employees even more money, that just means the small business owner is going to tell their employees to do more with less and body count and body bag people.
There is a fine balancing act between raising minimum wage and essentially keeping businesses running and the economy in good working order.
Yeah. Look at California. Look at what California did when McDonald's employees were making $20+ an hour, and it was mandated that McDonald's employees make $20 plus an hour. Get ready for your Big Mac, large fries, and Diet Coke to cost you $33. Look at Starbucks in California. You want your employees to be clipping 40 G's a year to work the deep fryer? That double cheeseburger and those chicken McNuggets with sweet and sour chased down by a vanilla milkshake are going to cost you $27. My wife and I, our two boys, we just went up and down the East Coast over the holiday break, New Year's and Christmas. When you're stopping on 81 or 95, you're hitting the closest fast food place. We have 7-year-old and a 3-year-old that can be animalistic. It's like effing Darwinism in the family Ford Explorer. The 3-year-old is gouging the 7-year-old's eyes. The 7-year-old is slapping his pecker on the 3-year-old. We're in the front seat saying, what the hell is going on, as they're fighting for their lives behind us. And we literally are thinking, how in God's name are these people the future of the world? Of course we're going to stop at the Golden Arches, the first food and beverage place we see on 81 or 95. When we go in there, chicken sandwich meal, chicken McNuggets 20-piece, 4-piece fries. Daddy's getting a McDouble meal. The cost is $38. $38. Family of 4 McDonald's. $38. Be careful what you wish for, is the point. Be careful what you wish for. That's the point. And that's coming from a guy who's a capitalist. A lot of the minimum wage jobs were never intended to be career positions. They were intended to be jobs held by high school students or college students or people breaking into professionalism that need resume experience. Trying to turn a McDonald's job or a Starbucks job on the deep fry line into a career position, ladies and gentlemen, will be the downfall of small business.
I don't think anyone's trying to turn...
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
These are not career positions.
Mm-hmm.
I'll close this with this. Any office space of any kind that you need in Charlottesville, Albemarle County, or Central Virginia, your first call is to our firm. First call, last call, happy call, closed deal. That's what we do. DM me, email me, call me, text me. Just don't tell me I'm late for dinner. And if I'm late, I'm probably drinking an IPA. Judah Wickower,
Even
yours
if he's
truly.
not late, he's probably drinking an IPA.
What's that?
I said, even if you're not late, you're probably drinking an IPA.
Judah Wickower. It's true. Jerry Miller. It's the I Love CVille show on a Tuesday. So long, everybody.